It all started with a few leaked messages, innocent at first glance, but what followed set the entire internet on fire. Fans were left reeling when alleged texts, supposedly sent by Kirk Frost, began circulating online, hinting at something deeper, something far more personal and damaging than anyone could have imagined. And when Bambi stumbled upon those messages, what she did next left everyone speechless. She didn't keep quiet. She confronted Rahseeda, and not privately, but in front of cameras, friends, and followers. It was raw, it was messy, and it spiraled out of control faster than anyone expected. Emotions ran high, accusations flew, and the lines between loyalty and betrayal blurred instantly. Rumors about Kirk's involvement only fueled the flames. Was he hiding something? Did the text reveal a past mistake or an ongoing secret? Nobody could say for sure, but one thing was clear: Rashida wasn't going to let Bambi's words slide without a fight. In a matter of hours, what started as a conversation exploded into one of the most intense confrontations fans have ever witnessed between the two. With social media exploding and fans taking sides, people are still asking, what really went down? And is this the end of their friendship forever? The day started like any other in Atlanta, but what no one expected was how quickly things would spiral out of control. Rahseeda was filming a behind-the-scenes segment for a new promotional campaign when her phone started blowing up with notifications. At first, she ignored them, thinking it was just another wave of fans showing love on her latest post. But something felt different. The frequency of messages, the urgency in the comments, it was building into something she couldn't brush off. Just then, one of her assistants rushed in, holding her phone, looking shaken. "Girl, you need to see this right now," she said, eyes wide with disbelief. Rahseeda hesitated, but took the phone, and there they were, screenshots. Not just any screenshots, but a thread of messages allegedly sent from Kirk's phone to an unknown number. The tone of the text was flirtatious, suggestive, and worst of all, recent. Rahseeda's heart dropped. She'd seen scandals before, she'd been tested before, but this felt like a different kind of betrayal. She didn't want to believe it. Across town, Bambi was already on live. She had just finished getting her nails done when someone in her team showed her the same screenshots. Her reaction was immediate. "What is this mess? Kirk out here acting up again," she said, trying to keep her tone light, but viewers could see the tension forming on her face. She scrolled through the messages and her jaw clenched. Then came the moment that turned everything upside down. Bambi said something that fans would replay over and over. "This ain't the first time Kirk done slipped, but the way Rahseeda be protecting him. Girl, maybe it's time somebody spoke the truth." Those words echoed like a bomb across social media. Within minutes, Rahseeda's name started trending. Fans were split. Some defended her, others sided with Bambi, but the majority were just stunned that something so personal was now public. Rahseeda, still trying to process the leak, now had to face the reality that Bambi was fueling the fire. Later that evening, Rahseeda finally went live, not to explain herself, but to address what she called a snake move by someone she thought she could trust. "I don't know why people feel the need to speak on my marriage like they're living in it," she said, her voice shaking. "But keep my name and my husband's name out your mouth if you ain't got all the facts." Fans immediately knew who she was talking about. It was a direct shot at Bambi. Within minutes, Bambi fired back. She joined another live and didn't hold back. "First of all, don't come for me when I wasn't sent for. You mad at the wrong one. Me mad at the one sending them shady messages. Don't try to silence me, 'cause I kept it real," she snapped. Her energy was fierce, and the viewers were eating it up. Comment sections blew up, and so did group chats. The tea was too hot, and everyone was sipping. But this wasn't just internet drama anymore. There were emotions involved: hurt, betrayal. Rahseeda and Bambi had been close for years, shared family functions, supported each other through thick and thin. Fans had always seen them as two strong women who had each other's backs, especially when the cameras weren't rolling. But now, all of that felt like a distant memory. One careless live session, one unexpected leak, and suddenly everything was in question. Kirk, meanwhile, stayed silent. No posts, no comments, just complete silence, which only added to the chaos. Some fans believed he was guilty and didn't know how to defend himself. Others thought he was staying quiet because he knew this would blow over like all the other rumors before. But this time, the silence wasn't helping him. It was making everything worse. The next morning, things got even messier. A new set of messages surfaced, this time showing Kirk allegedly trying to meet up with the unknown woman behind the text. They talked about hotel reservations, private dinners, and even a gift he planned to give her. Rashida saw them and felt her knees go weak. This was no longer just playful banter. This looked like it had gone too far. She felt sick, and just when she thought she couldn't take anymore, Bambi posted a cryptic message on her Instagram story. Truth hurts, but lies destroy. Fans immediately assumed it was another jab at Rahseeda, and they weren't wrong. Things were escalating fast. Everyone was watching. The media picked up the story, gossip blogs were running wild with theories, and fan pages were dissecting every live session, every post, every look exchanged between the two women in past clips. It was chaos, and there was no turning back. To add to the storm, someone from Kirk's camp leaked that he was deeply embarrassed and wanted to fix things with Rahseeda privately. He didn't want to fuel the drama any further. But by then, the damage was done. Rahseeda wasn't just angry, she was humiliated. Her trust was broken, not only by Kirk, but also by Bambi. It wasn't just about a marriage anymore. It was about friendship, loyalty, and the pain of being exposed so publicly. Then came the moment fans didn't expect. A production insider from the reality show they all appear on revealed that cameras had been rolling during one of the heated exchanges. Apparently, Rahseeda and Bambi came face-to-face at a studio session, and it didn't go well. Sources claimed voices were raised, tears were shed, and the confrontation nearly turned physical. The moment that was supposed to stay private would soon become public when the new season aired. Fans couldn't wait. They wanted answers, and they wanted to see it all unfold. Rahseeda was still trying to hold herself together, but behind the scenes, she was battling emotional exhaustion. She hadn't spoken to Kirk since the second batch of messages leaked. Her team advised her to lay low, but the pressure from fans and media made that almost impossible. Everywhere she went, someone brought up the texts, or worse, Bambi's comments. She felt surrounded by whispers and judgment, and the weight of it was crushing. Bambi, on the other hand, doubled down. She told her followers that she wasn't going to apologize for speaking her mind. "If that makes me the villain, so be it," she said during a late-night Q&A. "I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like everything's perfect when it's not. I've seen too much, and I'm not gonna be quiet for anyone." And just like that, the feud between two once close women was now out in the open for the world to see. The hurt was raw, the betrayal deep, and the lines between right and wrong were blurred. But there was still more to come, because what happened next at a private dinner party would take things to a whole new level. The private dinner party was supposed to be a peaceful gathering. It was planned weeks in advance, meant to bring everyone together after weeks of stress and filming. The guest list was small, just close friends, a few family members, and some producers from the show. No cameras, no drama, just food, music, and laughs. But given everything that had happened in the last 48 hours, that hope for peace was a fantasy. Rahseeda arrived first, dressed in a sleek black outfit that matched her mood. She wasn't here for small talk. She wanted answers, and if Kirk had the nerve to show up, he was going to get an earful. She sat at the far end of the long table, quietly sipping from a glass of wine, eyes scanning every new arrival. People greeted her cautiously, unsure of what kind of mood she was in. She nodded politely but stayed silent. Her energy spoke louder than words. Bambi walked in almost an hour late, wearing heels that clicked sharply on the floor with every step. Heads turned as soon as she entered. Some gasped quietly, others whispered to the person next to them. She knew exactly what kind of storm she was walking into, and yet her face showed zero fear. She gave a slight smile to the crowd, then walked straight past everyone. making her way to a chair directly across from Rahseeda. The tension was instant. It wrapped around the room like smoke. Conversation stalled, forks paused mid-air, and even the music in the background seemed to quiet itself. Rahseeda didn't look away, neither did Bambi. It was as if they were communicating with their eyes alone, saying all the things they couldn't say out loud, at least not yet. Kirk arrived a few minutes later, clearly unaware of the bomb he was walking into. As soon as he stepped through the door, he noticed the stillness. People met Rahseeda's, and she didn't blink. She just stared, her jaw clenched so tight it looked painful. He gave a nervous smile, tried to joke, but no one laughed. He sat down next to her, but she shifted in her seat, putting a few extra inches between them. After dinner was served, the conversations picked up slowly, though everyone avoided the elephant in the room. Small laughter, forced smiles, but beneath it all, people were waiting for one of them to snap, and it didn't take long. Someone asked a casual question about the recent season trailer, and that's when it happened. Bambi looked directly at Rahseeda and said, "Well, I hope this season they finally showed the truth, not just the filtered version." It was subtle, but everyone knew exactly what she meant. Rahseeda set her glass down slowly, wiped her lips with a napkin, and then leaned forward. "You know, if you're going to talk slick, at least be brave enough to say names," she said, her voice steady but ice cold. Bambi didn't flinch. "I don't need to say names. If the shoe fits." "Oh, it fits all right," Rahseeda snapped, cutting her off. "But don't act like you some innocent messenger. You didn't reveal anything. You stirred a pot that didn't belong to you." Bambi leaned back, arms crossed. "Nah, see, the problem is, people love to protect trash behavior until it stinks up the whole room. I just stopped pretending not to smell it." Gasps filled the room. People shifted uncomfortably in their seats, unsure whether to intervene or let the storm run its course. Kirk looked like he wanted to disappear. He opened his mouth, but Rahseeda cut him off without even looking his way. "Don't, just don't," she said, eyes still locked on Bambi. "You act like you're doing me a favor by being messy in public," Rahseeda continued, "but all you did was drag me through the mud for clout." Bambi's voice rose. "Girl, please. I didn't leak those messages, but I'm not gonna sit quiet while you parade around like Kirk's some misunderstood saint. Everybody's tired of the act." The table exploded in voices. Some tried to calm them down. Others just watched in stunned silence. Someone knocked over a glass, and it shattered on the floor, but neither woman reacted. They were too deep in it now. "You don't know what I deal with behind closed doors," Rahseeda yelled, standing up now. "You see glimpses and think you got the whole picture? And you don't get to play victim when you're the one choosing to stay." Bambi fired back. "Don't come for me just 'cause I said what everybody else was too scared to say." For a moment, it looked like they were about to lunge at each other. Security, who had been stationed quietly near the exit, started inching closer. Producers whispered among themselves, some ready to step in, others just watching the drama unfold like it was golden content. But before anything physical happened, Kirk finally stood up and raised his voice. "Enough. Both of you," he shouted. "This ain't the place or the time." Rahseeda turned to him slowly, eyes burning. "No, Kirk, you don't get to say when it's enough. You're the reason we're all here." He opened his mouth to respond, but then looked around at the room full of people staring at him, judging him, blaming him. And in that moment, he realized just how badly things had spiraled. "Look, I'm sorry," he said quietly, almost to himself. "I never meant for things to get this far." Bambi rolled her eyes. "You never mean it, Kirk. That's the problem. You always accidentally hurt people." Rahseeda shook her head. "We're done here," she muttered and stormed out of the dinner party, not waiting for anyone. Bambi watched her leave, her expression hard to read, part anger, part regret, and part something else. Maybe she hadn't meant for it to go this far either. Maybe she just wanted to be heard. But now, things were broken in a way that couldn't be fixed with just words. After Rahseeda left, the room slowly began to clear out. The energy was drained, the tension still heavy in the air. Kirk stayed behind, sitting in silence, while Bambi stood outside by her car, scrolling through messages from fans who had seen leaked clips of the dinner argument already spreading like wildfire. What no one knew was that someone had secretly recorded the entire exchange at the dinner. A staff member had left their phone running, and within hours, the video started circulating on private gossip pages. The internet erupted again. Fans were shocked at the rawness of the confrontation. They praised Rahseeda's strength, called Bambi out for her bluntness, and dragged Kirk through the mud for staying silent for so long. But behind the headlines, behind the drama, real emotions were boiling. Rahseeda was at home crying in silence, questioning everything she had built. Bambi was pacing in her room, wondering if she had gone too far, and Kirk was sitting, alone in a parking lot, staring at his reflection in the car window, seeing a man he barely recognized. But the story wasn't over. There was still more to come, an unexpected twist that would shake everything once again. The following morning brought no peace. Social media had exploded overnight with clips from the dinner party. The video leaked by a staff member had been reposted hundreds of times across gossip pages, fan accounts, and even mainstream outlets. The footage was grainy, but the audio was clear enough. Rahseeda and Bambi's voices echoed in every comment section, dissected by strangers who had suddenly become experts in their feud. Hashtags like #TeamRashida and #BambiExposed were trending within hours. The drama had officially gone viral, and neither of them could hide from it now. Rahseeda hadn't slept. She sat curled up on her couch, her phone buzzing nonstop. Friends, fans, producers, they all wanted answers. Her inbox was a war zone. Half the messages were words of support, praising her for standing up for herself. The other half questioned why she had stayed silent about Kirk for so long. She was angry, but even more than that, she was hurt. Her marriage had already been on shaky ground, but now the world had seen it crumble in real time. She scrolled through one comment that read, "Rahseeda deserves better. Kirk's a clown and Bambi's messy for no reason." Another one said, "Maybe it's finally time for her to walk away." She tossed the phone across the couch and buried her face in her hands. How did it get this far? Meanwhile, Bambi was also catching heat. Though many fans backed her for speaking the truth, others accused her of being petty, jealous, or just thirsty for attention. She sat in her bathroom, staring into the mirror, trying to figure out if she had crossed a line. The moment kept replaying in her head. Rahseeda's face, the tension in the room, Kirk's stunned silence. She hadn't planned on it going down like that. But now that it had, she couldn't take it back. Scrappy, her husband, knocked gently on the door. "You good?" he asked. She sighed. "Depends on your definition of good." He walked in and leaned against the wall. "You blew up the internet." "Again? Wasn't trying to," she muttered. Scrappy raised an eyebrow. "Weren't you though?" She shot him a look. "What? You think I'm wrong?" He paused. "Nah, I think you told the truth. I just don't know if it was your truth to tell." Bambi looked away. That hit harder than she expected. Maybe he was right. Maybe she should have let Rahseeda handle her own situation. But something in her had snapped. She was tired of pretending. Tired of seeing people suffer in silence while everyone else clapped and smiled for the cameras. Across town, Kirk was trying to do damage control. He'd already been called into a surprise meeting with the show's producers. They were concerned about the fallout. Ratings might go up, sure, but public opinion was turning fast. They didn't want another scandal that spiraled out of control. They told Kirk to fix it, publicly and quickly. So Kirk did what Kirk always did. He filmed an apology video. Sitting in his car, looking tired and regretful, he addressed his followers directly. "I want to apologize to Rahseeda and everyone who got dragged into this mess. I made some mistakes. I've disrespected my marriage, and that's on me. Nobody else. I let people down, and I hate that my actions hurt the people I care about. I'm taking time to reflect and do better." But the comments weren't buying it. People flooded the video with eye-roll emojis and angry reactions. Some said it was too little, too late. Others demanded to see the text themselves. The pressure was growing, and Kirk's team was scrambling behind the scenes. Just when things seemed like they couldn't get any worse, a new leak hit the internet. Screenshots of even more messages. This time, it wasn't just flirtation. There were photos, voice notes, a full-blown digital trail of Kirk's conversations with a woman who wasn't his wife. And to make things worse, the mystery woman came forward. She posted a video to her private story, which, of course, someone recorded and shared everywhere. In the clip, she said, "I didn't know he was still with his wife. He told me they were separated. We talked for months. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not gonna be the one hiding while he plays the victim." The internet lost its mind. The narrative shifted again. Fans who had been focused on Rahseeda and Bambi now turned their anger toward Kirk. The betrayal was deeper than anyone expected. Even those who had defended him before were done now. The story had gone from messy to devastating. Rahseeda watched it all unfold in real time. Each new piece of evidence felt like a knife twisting in her chest. Her phone rang constantly. Calls from friends, family, even her mother, all worried about her well-being. But she didn't want to talk. Not yet. Not until she figured out what to do next. Finally, after 2 days of silence, she decided to respond, but not with a video. She posted a long, emotional message on her Instagram story. "I never thought I'd have to explain my pain to strangers," it began. "But here we are. Yes, the texts were real. Yes, I've been hurt. And no, I don't have all the answers right now. But I'm taking space for myself, for my kids, and for my peace. I ask that y'all give me that space too." The message went viral instantly. Celebrities reposted it. Blogs quoted it. Fans flooded her DMs with love and support. For the first time in days, the energy shifted slightly. People weren't just watching the drama anymore. They were rallying behind her. Bambi saw the post too. She stared at the screen for a long time, her chest tight with emotion. She wanted to reach out. She wanted to say she was sorry. Not for speaking her truth, but for the way it all unfolded. But she didn't know if it would matter anymore. Some bridges, once burned, couldn't be rebuilt. Still, she drafted a message, then deleted it, then drafted it again. "I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted you to see what the rest of us saw. But I realize now that maybe I should come to you in private. I'm sorry." She didn't send it. Scrappy watched her from the doorway. "You gonna send that?" Bambi shrugged. "What's the point?" "The point is you still care, even after all this." Bambi sat with that for a moment. Maybe caring was the problem. Maybe they all cared too much about things that were already broken. But just as she was about to close her phone, she got a message from someone unexpected. "Rahseeda, just 3 words. Can we talk?" Bambi stared at the screen in disbelief. The message felt surreal. After everything that had happened, the shouting, the betrayal, the internet chaos, Rahseeda was the last person she expected to hear from. Yet there it was, simple and to the point. "Can we talk?" No drama, no accusations, just a quiet invitation. Bambi didn't respond right away. Her heart was racing, palms slightly sweaty. Was this a setup? Was she ready for whatever this conversation might bring? After pacing the living room for nearly 20 minutes, she finally replied, "Yeah, whenever you're ready." Within moments, Rahseeda sent an address, her boutique. It was after hours, no customers, just the two of them. Bambi grabbed her keys and headed out, unsure of what she'd say, but knowing she couldn't ignore this. The boutique was dimly lit when Bambi arrived. Rahseeda stood by a clothing rack, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Bambi walked in slowly, cautiously, like she was entering the lion's den. The air between them was thick with unspoken emotions, and the silence stretched for what felt like forever before Rahseeda finally broke it. "Thanks for coming," she said quietly. Bambi nodded. "Thanks for asking me to." Another beat of silence. "I'm not gonna lie," Rahseeda began, her voice steady but strained. "I was pissed. Still kinda am." Bambi sighed. "I get it. You aired out something personal. Something I wasn't even done processing myself. And you did it in front of cameras, in front of everyone." Bambi swallowed hard. "I didn't mean for it to go that far. I just..." I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay when it wasn't. I thought you deserved to know. Rashida shook her head. You don't think I knew? I knew something was up. I've known for a while. I just wasn't ready to face it. And then you forced it out in the messiest way possible. Bambi looked down. I thought I was helping. You weren't, Rahseeda said bluntly. Not then. The words stung, but Bambi didn't argue. She let them sit. Then Rahseeda's tone softened. But maybe you're helping now. Bambi looked up surprised. What do you mean? If you hadn't done what you did, I might have kept pretending. I might have let Kirk sweet talk his way out of it again. But now it's all out there. I don't have a choice but to deal with it. And maybe that's a good thing. Bambi took a step closer. So, we're good. Rahseeda let out a bitter laugh. Good? Girl, we're not good, but we're talking, and that's something. Bambi nodded slowly. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a start. Just then, both their phones buzzed at the same time. Instinctively, they checked them, and what they saw stopped them in their tracks. A new video had dropped. Kirk lived on Instagram, and he wasn't alone. The screen showed Kirk sitting in a hotel room, looking disheveled, eyes red. Beside him sat the mystery woman, the one from the screenshots. They looked tense, uncomfortable. Kirk started talking, his voice shaky. I'm doing this because I'm tired of hiding, tired of pretending. Yes, I messed up. Yes, everything y'all saw is real. I hurt my wife. I hurt my family. But I also want to clear the air. He gestured toward the woman. This is Tanya. She's not some side chick trying to blow up my life. She was lied to, just like Rahseeda was. This whole situation got out of hand. Tanya nodded. I didn't know he was still married. I wouldn't have gone there if I knew. I'm not proud of this. But I'm not gonna be painted like some homewrecker. The comments exploded in real time. Fans were shocked, furious, heartbroken. Many accused Kirk of trying to play the victim again, driving another woman into his mess to shift the blame. Others defended Tanya, saying she was brave for speaking up. Within minutes, the video was reposted across every gossip page imaginable. Rahseeda stared at her phone, jaw clenched. This man really has the audacity. Bambi stood frozen. He's doing damage control, trying to spin the narrative before it buries him completely. Rahseeda's voice cracked. He's not sorry. He's just sorry he got caught. She turned away, tears welling up in her eyes. Bambi reached out gently, placing a hand on her shoulder. You don't have to watch this. You don't owe him anything. Rahseeda wiped her face quickly. I know, but I need to see it. I need to see how far he's willing to go. As the video continued, Kirk apologized directly to Rahseeda. If you're watching this, I know I failed you again. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want to be honest now. No more lies. It felt hollow, rehearsed, like the last-ditch effort to salvage whatever public image he had left. After the video ended, Rahseeda let out a long breath. That's it, I'm done. Bambi looked at her. Done as in? As in, I'm filing for divorce. The words hung in the air like a bomb. Bambi's eyes widened. Are you sure? Rahseeda nodded slowly. I've been sure. I just needed the world to catch up. For the first time in days, there was a strange peace in her voice, like a weight had finally been lifted, like she was reclaiming something she had lost. I gave him so many chances, she continued. I stood by him through every scandal, every betrayal, and he never changed. He never respected what we had. I can't keep sacrificing myself just to protect him. Bambi gave a small smile. I'm proud of you. Rahseeda looked at her, eyes softening. Thanks, and I'm sorry too, for how I came at you. Bambi shook her head. You had every right. I was messy. I should have handled it better. They sat down together on the boutique's couch, the tension between them finally starting to ease. They talked for a while, really talked. About life, about love, about how the cameras only ever catch part of the story. And for the first time in a long time, they saw each other not as rivals, not as reality stars, but as women trying to survive in a world that demanded they be perfect while tearing them down at every turn. Across town, Kirk watched the numbers rise on his live video, but the comments weren't in his favor. They called him out, mocked him, canceled him, and as he sat there in that hotel room, alone now, he realized something terrifying. This time, he really had lost everything. Back at the boutique, Rahseeda turned to Bambi. "You want to help me box up some of Kirk's stuff tomorrow?" Bambi grinned. "Girl, I'll bring the wine." They both laughed, a real, genuine laugh, and in that moment, the storm finally began to pass. And just like that, a friendship once torn apart by betrayal found its way back to healing, while a marriage built on second chances finally crumbled under the weight of too many lies. Fans are still reeling from everything that went down, from the leaked text to the explosive fight between Rahseeda and Bambi, and now Kirk's shocking live confession that only made things worse. Emotions ran high, the internet was left divided, and the drama continues to unfold in real time. Some people are praising Rahseeda for finally walking away and reclaiming her worth, while others can't believe how deep Kirk's deception really went. And Bambi, she came out of this with some hard-earned clarity, proving that even in chaos, sisterhood can survive. But the big question is, what happens now? Will Rahseeda go through with the divorce, or will Kirk find a way to manipulate the situation once again? Will Tanya disappear from the spotlight, or will she step into the limelight and tell her full side of the story? And what about the rest of the cast? How are they reacting to this behind the scenes? The silence from some of their closest friends has fans speculating even more, and sources say the next season of Love and Hip Hop might just be the most explosive one yet. Now we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Do you think Kirk's apology was real or just another stunt to save face? Should Rahseeda give him one last chance, or is this finally the end? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. The drama is far from over, and trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next.